We've quite a diverse community. I strongly believe the reason why our community is so, I wouldn't say different, but just, well, maybe different is a word. I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but we have two churches on our reserve, right? Mm-hmm. We have the Catholic Church and we have the Anglican Church. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if this, I don't have any facts around this, but this is my theory. When I went to university, I did an understudy on why we have two churches on a reserve and why they're distinct, Anglican and Catholic. So I don't have the history of why that happened, but it did happen. And it's only on, I believe, 2 other nations in all of Canada. One in Nova Scotia and one community in Manitoba, where there's 2 churches. All the other reserves have 1 church. So what I'm leading to here is, with the Anglican Church came the residential school at St. George's, which is in Lytton. The Catholic Church came to Kamloops Residential School. So I don't know, do you know where I'm going with this? We have children, right? Now let's say, I'll use myself as an example. I lived over here, just a couple of stone throws away. And all of us, we had a bunch of kids here. We went to the Catholic Church. Now there's other kids that lived on the other side of the reserve. Winston Swankum, Leslie Swankum, Maureen and Gloria, Eric Swankum, Jamie, Billy Pierre, David Moses. Some of these guys lived on the other side. They would have went to the Anglican Church. So come August, all the kids are getting thrown into the cattle truck to go to Lytton. But other kids that play together in this one community. So here's our community here. There's a church here and a church here. Kids. Cattle truck goes this way with all these kids. Cattle truck goes that way with all those kids. Our community's split apart. The kids are gone for 10 months. They come back. They hardly know each other. And that happens for years and years and years as they get older and older and older. And they just become more separate as opposed to being childhood friends and staying childhood friends. The church separated this community. And that's why our community is different.
Why do they still stand?
Well, the Anglican Church is used. The Catholic Church is not. It's condemned, and council actually made a motion to decommission it, but there's asbestos in it. So they got to be careful how they do it, right? They don't want to put anybody at risk because how it will fly. So we're still trying to figure out how to do it. Now, I wanted them to build another one there, because to me, that is part of our history, whether we like it or not, and it's a good, kind reminder. And also, there are people that do practice Catholicism, and they have nowhere to go now. And so, I went to church when I was a kid, midnight mass, some catechism. I tried that, and we would go to church. When people passed away, the services were in the churches. They still have services at the Anglican Church because it's used, but it's pretty small. We will have services at our hall. We'll have services at our band gym for the most part. But I don't know. Like, to me, again, it's just a reminder of things that can't be forgotten. We can't forget that. It's really important. It's like these residential schools that are still up. Some people want them to tear them down because they're horrible. Well, I asked my dad, who's a survivor, I said, well, how do you feel about if KIB decided to tear down the residential school? And he'd say, well, it wouldn't really matter to me. But when I go by that thing, I remember, how it was there. And for him, it's an opportunity for him to build his spirit. Because there's a lot of kids had broken spirits when they left that school. That's why many died. That's why many are alcoholics, and so forth, right? And so, for that residential school there to be there, it allows him to just keep his spirit growing. Don't let that history, that legacy, take his spirit away. Same with my mom. She went to Seashell in Seashell. That was the school she went to for a few years, and then she wound up in North Vancouver going to school there. But that school burnt down. But she feels the same way, because it's not there anymore. All you think about is the school. If it's there, it reminds you of the time you spent there, and it's an opportunity for you to build off of that because you're a different person now than how you were when you were a child. And it's, if you lose your spirit, how do you get it back? Sometimes you need to see something to get your spirit back. And maybe that's why these churches need to be here. Because if they're gone, then it's out of sight, out of mind, right? So anyway, that's my take on it. I mean, we have other the differing views from the leadership as well too. Like when they decided to decommission the church, I opposed it. I said, why are we doing that? Or if we're going to do it, let's rebuild one so that people can use it. Well, that's not us. We didn't go to church. We yammied, we prayed. We didn't go to a church to pray. But we did. We can't ignore that. But anyway, so we had quite a rebuttal about it. But at the end of the day, the council made the decision, and they do want to do something else there, like maybe put up some kind of center of some type. And I said, well, I guess. But something they didn't do though is they did do a survey with the community, and it was an online survey of do you think the church should be decommissioned and why? And there was a bunch of people that took part in that. But what I said that evening when council made the decision is we should go to the community. We should ask the community and just have a meeting on it. We don't have to have a meeting about anything else but that church, and hear from the people and see how they feel about it. Because there's a good number of members that didn't want it to get tore down and not be restored. So it was quite a little event. But yeah, so there's a fine line, and I'll say that no pun intended, a fine line between our community and those churches is our boundary. It's an unwritten line.